What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. My number 5 favorite board game played in 2024. Hero Quest: Keller's Keep. This is the first and original sequel to the classic Hero Quest game, and I loved playing through it immediately after I finished that core adventure. This brought 10 new exciting tales of adventure quests that we were able to go through, filling in time with combat and also with puzzle solving. Now, another aspect to this that I enjoyed was that it had a strong story. The narrative to it was tighter than the original core, and I liked the concept, the idea that you're going through Keller's Keep trying to rescue the king, who him and his forces have been trapped by the forces of Zargon. And if it's not, if it's up to you, whether that king and the land will be saved. Now, a new aspect of the original core game that did not have was collection. In this, you had to find and collect 4 different parts of the map to get through Keller's Keep. Now, this also came with some great new components. I very much enjoyed the 2 new doors, the wooden door and the iron door. They're great benefits to have and to show, especially since this particular quest book did not really use the stairs. Almost everything in this involved you going through a door and leaving through a door. There are also not a lot of nice new components with the cardboard pieces, the chits, the tokens used to try to change the board up a little bit, add new aspects to it. And I really appreciated that it took it a step beyond what the core was. Overall, I think that this is a fine example of where to go when you are finished that first core quest in Hero's Quest. My number 4 favorite board game played in 2024. Marvel Zombies. Let me tell you, this game is absolutely gorgeous to look at. Some of the best miniatures I've seen in a while, and I have quite a few miniatures and seen even more. The nuanced work in these miniatures really does bring to life the whole story, the universe, that is, of Marvel Zombies. I always do enjoy board games that incorporate experience points and leveling up to get new skills, abilities, powers, basically to improve your character. And this game brings that. Now, unlike other previous Zombicide games, which this is part of the Zombicide series, and unlike the previous ones before this is the first time in Zombicide history that you get to play the zombies, that you're the ones out to eat brains and not be stopped. This game is ridiculously huge. The all-in on the Kickstarter brought you just about the entirety of the Marvel universe, both as zombified heroes and as living heroes. You could almost drown in the possibilities, but it also brought new gaming systems with each of the expansions, such as team-ups, such as working both as living and undead, and even battling Galactus. I honestly think that this game is a must-have for all board gaming fans of the Marvel Universe. No matter how big you want to go with a basic or all-in, this is something you're probably going to want, and it really blew me and the 20-Sided Warriors away, especially the fast, fun, easy rule system that we jumped into and started playing almost immediately. That was a great boon. My number 3 favorite board game played in 2024. Shadows over Brimstone. This classic board game recently has been making it back onto the table with me and the 20-Sided Warriors after we dusted it off for the past few years. This Cthulhu-ish monstrosities of a game set in the old Wild West is a great combination of the two genres. Now, once you've built and glued them, which I was not a fan of, the miniatures are pretty darn good looking. They do stand out on the board and make me wish that I had the skill, the talent, and the time to paint these beautiful miniatures. Now, the miniatures themselves are only part of the allure. Also, the miniature combat game that revolves around this when you are battling the monstrosities, the evils, the demons, the creatures down in the mine, on the way back to town, and sometimes even in town. I really enjoyed the combat system that they came up with this, and including the placement of the monsters when they come out in the checkerboard pattern, and how they attack. It felt natural, it felt organic. Me and the 20-Sided Warriors have never had a problem with the combat system in Shadows over Brimstone. I've also enjoyed the fact that this is a fast-paced co-op game. I really do enjoy the co-op games. And whether I am playing this alone or with the 20-Sided Warriors, or whether we are playing a solo game, one-off, so to speak, or whether we're playing in a campaign mode, it's always been an awesome time. And one or the other, a one-off adventure or a campaign, it always feels awesome. I find there to be more than enough random events that can happen during a mining dive or even events in town. That these random events, they really do create a sense of different every single time you play. That replayability is there. Even if you do the same mission, it's going to be radically different, especially with the tile laying system, and how you lay the tiles by the card choices that you take, that you pick up. It's never, ever going to be the same adventure, the same fight, the same mining delve twice. This is a great fun game. It deals with a lot of chits, a lot of tokens. I actually prefer using character sheets almost in a D&D style, which you can find online from the company and download. It's much easier, I find, to keep track of everything with pen and paper. But if you really want that board game feel, the chits and the tokens in this, for literally just about everything you're gonna find, including playing cards to go with them, it can be undaunting. It's gonna be a huge footprint on the table, but it's such an awesome game. My number 2 favorite board game played in 2024. Arceus. Now, this was another Kickstarter game that I had gotten, I bought, I Kickstarted. And one of the things that caught me about this was the genre mix. The old 1920s, 1930s style Egyptian archaeology mixed in with steampunk adventuring. That caught my attention right away. And I'm glad it did, because I got the game. Me and Ron and the 20-Sided Warriors have played it several times now, and it just keeps getting better and better. The fun adventures in a steampunk late 1920s Egypt setting really, really took us by surprise that we liked it that much. The miniatures in this game, they really went out of their way to make sure that they looked great. And they succeeded in that, I believe, because the miniatures from the smallest scarab to the big, towering, four-armed pharaoh are all impressive as hell, and we enjoyed looking at them, we enjoyed moving them, we enjoyed using them in the game. The game uses, I'm not sure if it's specifically, I'm going to say it is, I might be wrong, but they are using Tenfold Dungeon Boxes, which is a company that creates boxed terrain that comes in a Russian nesting style box set, box inside a box inside a box. And this worked great. In fact, so much so it got me the attention of Tenfold Dungeon. I ended up buying a whole bunch of other things on the side that have nothing to do with Arceus. But it looks beautiful. It looks like a fantastically full color setting inside the pyramids. It's really beautiful to look at. Combining that and the miniatures, wow. This has a very engaging story system also that we enjoyed, along with a light legacy style to the game that really kind of elevated it above a lot of the other dungeon delving style board games that we've played. It had a very good balance between story, combat, and puzzle solving, and that always kept us on our toes. This is another game that there are a lot of random events and encounters in, which will help keep the game fresh and alive every time you play it. My number one game played in 2024. Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Edition Speaker in Dreams. This is the very first time after all my decades of playing D&D that I ever actually ran this adventure. And I am so glad and happy that I did. Anyone really that is looking for a fun lower level adventure, this is the one. This is, I believe, 5th level it starts at, suggestion, and it was fantastic. It was the first time I ever ran a major adventure, not just passing through, not just stopping at a shop or two. This is the first time in all these decades I actually ran a fully immersed town adventure, from streets to buildings to the surrounding forest area. It really challenged me into something that I hadn't done before, especially with all the creation work, with background characters, NPCs, and I like to do builds. I like to do table builds. So that was also a challenge, the first time going from just building some dungeon corridors and rooms to full out streets and multi-story buildings, all on the same table setup. But it was all worth it. It really was fantastic. The story itself was very engaging. And there's going to be a spoiler moment here. So please watch out for that. 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Halfway through the module, an event happened that really, as a DM, I really loved a lot. And that's where the module tells you to tell the players that they've won. It's over. You defeated the cult. You saved the town. But it's not over. In fact, I even went so far as to give them a 3 or 4 part side adventure within a different game and another system, just to let them think that everything was over. And then when we came back to start things new, they got to hear the bad news. No. It's far from over, my friends. They took that very well. And not at the same time. But still, it was very fun. And by the end of it, they all understood why it had to be done that way. Okay, out of spoiler now. You can come back. I found that this was had a very diverse group of enemies. Which is another thing I liked about it. From the Grimlocks to the Were-Rats to the Dire-Rats, occultists, thieves, con men, the cosmic squid, and of course the Mind Flayer. It really was a good balanced mix of opponents for my players to have to deal with. Even so far as me needing to throw in a side adventure because one of the players, Ron, his fighter contracted lycanthropy with the attack of the Dire Rats. And we decided to do a side adventure to sort of save him, in the sense that it saved his alignment by getting him a helm of opposite alignment. I think in-game I called it the Helm of Opposite Morals or something like that, which changed him from a lawful evil were-rat to a chaotic good human again. And he was chaotic. He was lawful neutral to begin with. So he's had a hell of a run with his alignment over this one module. So yeah, beware of the lycanthropy. But overall, the quest is extremely compelling, and I really think anyone that's looking for an adventure for their 3rd level, for their 5th level characters, this is something that you should look into. And those, my friends, are the 5 favorite board games that I have played in 2024.